Alright, picture this. It's the summer of 1971. The Beatles have just broken up, bell-bottom jeans are everywhere, and in a quiet rural corner of Virginia, something strange happens. Something that would rattle an entire family to their core. This isn't your average alien story, it's personal, it's chilling, and it's never been fully explained. So grab your coffee, turn the lights down, and let's dive into Virginia's alien encounter that shook a family in 1971. Let's set the stage. The Johnson family, mom, dad, 2 kids, living in a modest farmhouse on the outskirts of Wytheville, Virginia. Now, Wytheville wasn't exactly Roswell. We're talking about rolling hills, sleepy towns, and neighbors who know each other by name. The Johnsons were a regular, grounded family. No talk of aliens, no conspiracy theories, just folks trying to live a peaceful life. But all that changed one sweltering night in July. Fun fact: Wytheville would later become a minor UFO hotspot in the 80s. But back in 71? The idea of extraterrestrials in these parts was about as foreign as sushi at a southern potluck. It began innocently enough. Around 9:30 p.m., the Johnsons were finishing up dinner when their youngest, 9-year-old Lisa, looked out the window and said the 5 words no one wants to hear. "Mom, the sky is blinking." At first, they thought it was lightning. A storm, maybe? But there were no clouds. Just this strange, rhythmic flashing above the tree line. White, red, then blue. It moved too fast, too precise, like it was under intelligent control. Dad, a military veteran, stepped outside. And that's when things got weirder. Now I gotta ask you, what would you do in that moment? Call the police? Grab a camera? Or just close the blinds and pretend it's not happening? Let me know in the comments. What happened next is a classic trope in UFO lore, but here's the thing, it was real to them. The entire family remembers seeing the lights hover, then suddenly, it was midnight. 3 hours gone. No memory of what happened. This, folks, is what's known in ufology as missing time, a phenomenon reported in abduction cases all around the world. Even skeptics struggle to explain it. Historical tie-in. In fact, the famous Betty and Barney Hill case from 1961, just a decade earlier, also involved missing time. That case was the first widely publicized alien abduction report in the U.S., and it set the tone for encounters like the Johnsons. Could there be a connection? Or a pattern? The next morning, things felt off. The family was groggy, irritable. But it wasn't just sleep deprivation. Their pet dog, normally hyper, refused to go outside. The cows in the barn wouldn't eat. And then there were the burn marks in the grass, perfect circles about 6 feet wide. Scorched earth, like something landed there. Local authorities chalked it up to natural causes. But let's be honest, what natural event leaves symmetrical, glowing rings in a field? Mini anecdote. Years later, a retired police officer from the same county admitted off the record that he saw something similar, and was told to keep quiet. Classic cover-up? Or just local folklore growing teeth? Now here's where it gets really interesting. Over the next few weeks, little Lisa began drawing strange figures, tall, thin beings with large eyes and elongated fingers. She claimed she saw them in a dream, but couldn't describe the dream itself. Her teacher, noticing the recurring theme, actually sent a note home. Lisa seems preoccupied with alien imagery. Here's the kicker: years later, when shown images of the classic gray alien design, Lisa, now an adult, said, "That's exactly what I saw, before I even knew what it was." Now hold on, this isn't just a creepy family story. Because about a week after the incident, the Johnsons received visitors. 2 men in black suits came to their door. Not FBI, not local law enforcement. They claimed to be from a weather station, asking about the lights, the damage, even requesting to take soil samples. Once they left, they were never seen again. And no one in town knew anything about a weather research agency operating nearby. Conspiracy Corner segment. This brings us into the infamous Men in Black territory. MIB sightings often follow UFO encounters, allegedly to intimidate witnesses into silence. Coincidence? or part of a much larger effort to suppress what we know? Now, news travels fast in small towns. When word got out, reactions were mixed. Some neighbors avoided the Johnsons. Others dropped off religious tracts, claiming the family had invited something evil. But a few came forward, quietly, saying they too had seen something strange that night. Lights. Humming sounds. Power outages. One man even claimed his radio began picking up Morse code, though he had no idea why. Speculation prompt. What if these isolated sightings are actually part of a grid, like a pattern across rural America that we just haven't connected yet? What if Wytheville was just one dot in a bigger picture? Fast forward to 1983. Lisa, now in her 20s and studying psychology, decides to undergo hypnotic regression therapy, not to prove anything, but to understand her persistent night terrors. What surfaced was chilling. Descriptions of being floated out of her room. A room filled with white light. Beings communicating without speaking. Medical instruments. And the overwhelming feeling of being observed like an animal in a lab. Her therapist, a licensed clinical psychologist, said the emotional reactions during hypnosis were authentic, not staged, not rehearsed. The Johnson family moved out of that farmhouse in 1975. The property changed hands a few times, but strange reports never stopped. Visitors claimed odd electrical malfunctions, strange dreams, even sightings of shadow figures. Lisa went on to write a book, The Light Beyond the Hills, a fictionalized account of what happened, though she never openly confirmed it was based on her own experience. To this day, no official explanation exists. No confession. No hard evidence. Just a trail of anomalies, a shaken family, and questions we may never fully answer. Narrator. So what really happened in Virginia in 1971? Was it a brush with beings from another world? A shared hallucination? A top-secret government experiment? Or is it something else entirely, something we don't yet have the words to describe? The truth is, the line between science fiction and reality gets thinner every year. And maybe, just maybe, we're not as alone as we think. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button. And if you or someone you know has ever had a similar experience, I want to hear about it in the comments. Do you believe the Johnsons? Or do you think there's a more earthly explanation? And hey, don't forget to subscribe, we've got even more bizarre, unexplained stories coming your way. Until next time, stay curious, and keep looking up.